Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from Delta CX, and you can check us out at customercentricity.com. We do CX, UX, projects, training, and consulting, as well as fractional CXO stuff. If you hear a thumping in the background, it is special guest dog Teseo. Whenever I think about him or talk about him, the wagging is loud and wild. Maybe my mic is not including it. Oh, and some of you asked me to turn off the heat during my show because it sounds like it's whining. Let me do that. Now that I'm wireless, I can walk across the room and turn off the heat. Hey, so welcome. Every other Friday we do Practicing Critical Thinking. By the way, if you like the sweatshirt, you can get your own at deltacx.shop. So it's Practicing Critical Thinking time. We're going to be taking a look at some things you sent in and a couple of things I wanted to talk about. And of course, thanks to everybody who is supporting the channel through YouTube by clicking join. You're keeping me in streaming software and chocolate chips, and I greatly appreciate both. Thanks to past, present, and future supporters. Hello to Neelab, Elena, Ana Lucia, and Steph, and everybody else who's joining. Remember, if you'd like to send in something for the Critical Thinking stream, you absolutely can. We're doing it every other week now, so you may have to wait a little while, but you can go to deltacx.com/links, and you can find all the links there that you can eat. You can learn how to join our Slack and Discord communities, which are totally free. You can send stuff in for the live shows. We want you to be involved. And in fact, the Practicing Critical Thinking show is getting you involved as well. Happy Friday, Steph. So I'm going to be showing you some things that people sent in, and I definitely want to get your thoughts and opinions on them as I go through them. Note that because of YouTube, we're probably 40 or so seconds delayed. So if you think I'm not responding to you fast enough, it's probably the delay. So let's press all the buttons and see if we are now sharing screen. Let's take a look. Yep, here's me. Hopefully the chat room, yes, and my screen and me. Hopefully everybody sees all these things. All right, so this is Yuvarav Muthi's post. I don't know this person. And it says, everyone is shocked by ChatGPT. Galileo AI is like the ChatGPT of UI designs. It's trained on thousands of outstanding designs. I'd love to know which ones. Galileo AI transforms natural language prompts into high-fidelity designs editable in Figma. Your concepts will be quickly transformed from a straightforward written description into wonderful customizable UI designs. It'll help you quickly create a complicated user interface. Their system generates a UI that best suits your needs in a matter of seconds by learning from thousands of outstanding user experience designs. Create a design that stands out. I don't know how it's going to stand out if it's just a robot that's going by training on other things. Hypothetically, it can't stand out. It can only create what it's been trained on. So this doesn't seem true to me, but that's just me. They have also handpicked AI-generated graphics and pictures to add life to your projects in a way that reflects your vision and sense of style, which I'm sure you would have to tell. Yeah, Steph says outstanding equals stolen. Sadly, it does seem that way. Complete product copy instantly. AI can comprehend any context and precisely fill up the end-to-end product copy by utilizing big language models. Gives you more time to create a bigger impact. Again, how do you know that? These are the questions. How do you know you're creating a bigger impact? What if it would have been better if you didn't use ChatGPT? Are we measuring this? Or are we just acting like this thing always works and always does a great job? Steph says, is the guy copy-pasting the copy of the tool's marketing? It does seem a bit like that. I wonder if they are involved in it or an investor, but good critical thinking question. So request early access. So somehow this person seems to have access to something that I don't even know. So use Galileo.ai. All right, so obviously, I am not recommending this to anybody, but let's be very clear. If you are using machine learning for design, we should not tell ourselves that we are innovative because we're using a tool that's trained on existing models. It's just going to mix and match different pieces it's found across different things. And so you're not going to be innovative, you're not going to be disruptive. You do run the risk that you are breaking accessibility rules. Was this thing trained on all of the accessibility rules, laws, best practices? Or is this going to create, wacky color combinations and all kinds of things? We don't know. So I don't know, but these are critical thinking questions to ask. So in addition to it not being innovative and potentially breaking accessibility laws and getting you sued, Steph says, haha, wait, can you open the Galileo link and check if it's an affiliate link? Rolling over it, it looks like there is a, what do you call it on the end? I'm forgetting the word. Public post comment text. This makes me think this guy is Galileo AI and he's just plugging it. But I know when I'm in private browser, I can't see LinkedIn without signing in. So I don't know. So let's see if I go to use Galileo, tracking public post comment, which again makes me think this is this person's company and they're promoting it, so they want to track how you got there. For an amazing AI website, it seems a little slow to load. Okay, not interested. All right, so anyway, I think there's a lot of critical thinking we have to do when we see these fake AI and ML types of things. And we also have to think about what Larry Marine teaches. Larry Marine reminds us that if you are stealing from competitors or copying competitors or influenced by competitors, you're assuming that what they're doing is good. You're assuming that they're doing something right. And hypothetically, using ML for our UX work assumes that the models this has been trained on really did UX really well, and that what's successful for someone else is going to be successful for us. But we're all in different industries. We all have different audiences. How can we blanketly say that we've trained this model on thousands of outstanding designs? Who decided that? So there's a lot of questions here, and I think as people are playing with these bots, it's really important to keep your critical thinking hat on and be asking a lot of questions, because I can easily see how you could end up with a design that just looks like everybody else's, that doesn't stand out, that isn't innovative, that looks the same because it's working from models. What else can it do? Steph says either that or the tool offers some discount if you get people to sign and the person's trying to get discounts or credits. Totally. So I feel done with that. Hopefully you all are thinking about using your critical thinking if you mess with this. But to me, I don't see how you can be innovative or disruptive, and I don't see how you can make sure that you are building the right thing for your users. Can I go to this thing and say, my users are having trouble with search results? I mean, like, what can you tell it that is really going to give it context? He claims it understands context, but I think people sometimes think that context is the very high level job to be done. Like, create a banking app that lets users transfer money. Cool. That's very high level use case. That definitely isn't context. So I think we just have to be careful here about some of what's going to be missing from this. Okay, someone sent me Dr. Nick from a week ago. I just loaded the transcript from this morning's user research session into ChatGPT. Without having to ask it, it analyzed the conversation and gave me a very accurate summary. I then proceeded to ask ChatGPT to review the conversation to list out the user needs and pain points, which it did in milliseconds. That sort of analysis would have taken me hours in terms of stop-start video and recording insights in a deck or notepad. AI will not kill you are. AI is for all intents and purposes a literary calculator. You will still need a skilled user researcher to script and run user research sessions. Sure, AI can do that, but interpersonal almost always wins. And I don't think we're going to lose our jobs to robo-researcher anytime soon. Chatbots, anyone? Even smart AI chatbots, avatars, cyborgs, whatever. This is about human-human interaction and the reduction of analysis effort. User researchers will have incredible new analysis tools available to them to help remove some of the heavy lifting that is such a hallmark of our practice. This will mean that we can spend some time on the things that matter, like recruitment, writing up, socializing insights, inter-team collaboration. There's still a long road to establishing any kind of validity in AI output, so we'll be double checking until then, but I'm excited about this, not fearful. So I like this post, and I think what he's written is very fair. I think it's interesting. I think we will see some of these tools and techniques used to help UX professionals save some time. But we had this conversation on my team because we're working on a project right now. And of course, one of our number one concerns, and this may be true for the people in the room as well, especially when we have people like Elena here and Steph and Ana Lucia, who I know are do some research, and Elena's obviously great with research. My question was, if I were to take the 35 hours of interviews or, 35 interviews that we just did for this project, which is highly confidential, and feed it into ChatGPT, is it still confidential? Could this be used to train the bot further? Where does my information end up? I've lost control of my information once I put it into any sort of public model. Now, if I can be guaranteed that there is some sort of version or installation of ChatGPT that is solely for Delta CX and nobody will see anything we've put in it and nothing we put into it will be fed back into the model, I'd consider it, but I don't feel like we have that guarantee right now. I think, though I can't prove this is just a question, not an answer. I think that a lot of these services are so into training their models that I'm not sure that what we put in is going to remain confidential. We have people said their names. Our research was financial. People talked about how much money they have, how much money they're saving. So I am worried about the information that I have promised to keep safe and anonymous and confidential going into a database and system that I have no control over. I wrote to the OpenAI people and I said, I don't want to use you anymore. I tried it. I don't like it. Delete me as per GDPR. I didn't hear back. Was I deleted? I don't even know. They don't freaking care. Ana Lucia says, no, don't do that. ChatGPT says so. It's public. Maybe they will develop private stuff, but right now it's public and there's a warning as well. Right. So we decided on our team at this time not to use it for our research, even though, like Nick, we're curious. And we're curious if it can take an hour-long conversation and boil it down to key points without missing a key point. That, to me, is the key thing. If it gives me too many key points, okay, I can narrow that down manually. I'm doing a manual pass anyway. If it misses key points, then it is of no use to me. As soon as it misses at least a few key points, I don't want it. Elena says, I have so many questions about how the data inputted through these tools is used, retained, and managed. Steph says, maybe I'm super annoyed by that because of academic background, but I find it super careless when I see people say, oh, I just gave ChatGPT user interview scripts. Like privacy, ethics. Yeah, we don't know the boundaries of Nick's study and we don't know what he did or if he just did one just to test it. Hopefully he didn't do a whole bunch, but at this time, Delta CX has chosen as a company to press pause on using these outside tools for this reason, because we don't feel guaranteed that our stuff will be our stuff within our control. Now, that doesn't mean we're using no tools. We are using stuff, but we feel like we have relationships with those companies where we understand their terms and conditions. Ana Lucia says, yes, I'm also very curious. It may be great someday as our assistant, but right now it's too early and the public access isn't good for us since we have to keep it confidential. Okay. The next article is from yesterday. And so I haven't seen this before. This is called The Art of Unlearning. Now, of course, I wish Ada were here so we could sing some epica together. There's a great line in one of their songs that says, learn to unlearn. And I'm definitely for unlearning. I think people get too ingrained in certain habits or thought patterns or biases, and they can't get out of it. So I don't know what this article is going to say. I didn't look at it ahead of time. I'm doing less of that now because I like all of us to kind of discover it together. Hello, Ralitza. Happy Friday. How letting go of the familiar can help product designers become more creative. Okay, so remember, the title and the subtitle of your article are your promise to me of what this article is going to be about. So I expect this to be about unlearning and letting go of what you already know to become more creative. If we don't deliver on that promise, then the article might not be well written. Let's take a look. Now, I tend to skim these because people tend to write longer articles than I have the attention span or brain power for. So let's take a look. Kids are more imaginative than adults. It's scientifically proven. Okay. I feel like I'm more imaginative now than when I was a kid. But, whatever. I'm not going to fight you. So why? Because we become experts in convergent thinking. Okay, so this is divergent thinking. I took a class on this in college and super hated it because I thought at the time it was pretty bullshitty, but hopefully this person will give us key how-to stuff. Remember, we are listening for meaningful, actionable, helpful. Is this person going to tell us how to step away from our convergent thinking and be more creative? So let's see. As product designers, we engage with three elements: standards, patterns, and people. This person doesn't define those. This person assumes we know what these are. So hopefully we'll figure this out. Let's see. Unlearning is not about forgetting. It's the ability to choose an alternative mental model or paradigm. Fine. Unlearning standards. Product design blends arts and sciences. Digital experiences and user behavior can be predictable, yet vary across contexts and change along with people, their needs, and technology. Fields like medicine. This isn't grabbing me. I feel like this person isn't saying a lot. What are you saying? What are you saying? Design thinking is a buzzword. Okay, like what are you saying here? What am I doing wrong and how can I do it better? I don't feel like we're getting there. A problem-solving approach I feel like this person's trying to sell me design thinking, so I don't get it. I feel done with this article. I don't feel like this article follows through on its promise. I feel like it introduces a lot of concepts but doesn't see them through. I feel like we didn't really learn about what are standards, patterns, and people in case this person has a unique definition of them. I don't feel like I know how to unlearn standards. I think I just got sold design thinking. So I'm not too sure we learned how to unlearn standards, unlearn design patterns. Yeah, I'm not getting it. So I'm done with this article. Apologies to the author. Apologies to the person who sent it. Anybody want to add a comment about this article? Anything you're noticing that I'm missing? I'm just not getting this. I just feel like there isn't something for me to take away here, and it made me lose interest. You have a really short amount of time to grab people. It's just like your portfolio. You've got 60 to 90 seconds to make people go, yeah, I want to spend more time on this page and see what's going on here. I don't want to spend more time on this page. I don't care what's going on here. I don't feel like I've learned these things. I'm going to move on. Okay. This is from a year ago. And this was sent, I think, to our Slack community around job interviews. This says how we adapted a design sprint for design interviews. Now, that doesn't mean UX research interviews. I think they mean job interviews. Ana Lucia says, I'm a bit confused as well. It sells an idea and goes on tangents. Yeah, I felt like there were a lot of tangents there. So, let's see. So here's what this person is suggesting, that as part of interviewing potential designers at your company, you should do a 2-hour mini sprint with them. Select goals, users, and risks for 45 minutes. Sketch competing solutions for 15 minutes. Okay, I sure hope you understand your users and their context. I sure hope that is a mountain of research evidence that you're being given in that first 45 minutes. Otherwise, it sounds like the first 45 minutes is, what guessed at problem should we guess some solutions about? 10 minutes, the candidate, I guess, decides what they think is the best sketch. Popularity contest. Candidate mocks up wireframes for 40 minutes. No pressure, though. Hope you don't suffer from anxiety, ADHD, autism, memory issues, COVID. So the first thing that jumps out at me is this is definitely not DEI friendly. This is definitely not friendly to people who would like to work in a more relaxed pace, especially knowing that a job interview is already extremely stressful. AJ says, and you better compensate them for their time. You know they won't. You know this is 2 unpaid hours. And let's jump off of what AJ said. If this is a real problem or project at your company and you're having your candidates work on it, you are absolutely unethical, period. Unethical, no two ways about it. Do not give people anything close to what your company is working on. One of the low ego action heroes once sent me a design challenge from job interview they had with a famous international shipping and cargo storage company. And since they didn't want you to think you were doing a project for them, they acted like, you have to fit boxes into a warehouse. And I'm like, clearly this is about shipping containers and cargo, pretending it's boxes in a warehouse. You're stealing people's ideas. Credence says, hello. Hello, Credence. Ana Lucia says, oh my God, anxiety, 2 hours for all that. Shweta says, also, not all interviewers are great at making candidates feel comfortable. It's an EQ thing. Yeah, and then 10 minutes for Q&A and reflection. This sounds extremely stressful. This is one of the many reasons I'm against design challenges in general. I don't care if you call it a design sprint. I don't care if you call it a design challenge. I don't care if you call it a mini workshop. I don't want to read the rest of this article. I still believe this ranges from unfair to inhumane to unethical, depending upon what this looks like. If you ask me to guess at wireframes for 40 minutes based on crappy or poor information about users, it's garbage in, garbage out, and I'll probably tell you that in the interview because I'm me. So no, I don't recommend that anybody do this. If you are holding design interviews where you work, if you are a senior, lead, manager, or higher, please do not implement this. I really don't recommend this. I don't recommend design sprinking on sprinking. That's so perfect. Sprinking, design sprints and design thinking. New word, everybody. I've done it. I don't recommend design sprinking on a good day, and I definitely don't recommend it in this context. Melanie, hi, says, I would ask if that's the approach they take for actual work. Yes, I love that question. And I do recommend that people ask that. Like, is this how I'll be working? Will I be working where my job is workshopped with no user context or information and you just want my best guess at screens in 40 minutes? Sprinking. I know. I accidentally win. Someone by the .com there. Let's see. AJ says, engineers are asked to do coding completions. We're not here to play games. Shweta says, people are watching over you, puts people on edge. AJ says, thank you, Melanie. Yeah, the chat helps the chat. All right, so we've got one more that people sent, and then we're going to move to a super hot, spicy topic. So, this was an article someone sent, and it looks like it keeps giving me overlays. So I'm going to keep Xing them out, but there were multiple overlays. So if you claim to work in CX or UX and you give me one overlay, no, I already lose trust for you. Multiple overlays? Definitely no. Designing in winter. Okay, so here's the description that I got for this. Where did I put it? I think I put it here. Here it is. Designing in winter. Here's what someone sent about this. Very gloomy perspective on design, especially the part about product managers will prompt AI tools to output dozens of trashy UIs and take it to engineers. It feels like that person has already given up. I'm wondering what we could do to avoid such a gloomy future, because the solution proposed, like master AI, get down to production, become a UI pissing monkey, move up or sideways, sound, well, depressing. Okay, so back to this article and the chat room. This is a very long article, another pop-up. So do you UI, bro? Because that's a lot of pop-ups. So I'm not going to read this. I don't have the headspace for this. I'm going to go with the summary that the person who sent this in provided. And thank you for that summary, because I don't want to read this. Now, what can we do when product managers want to just use AI and bypass UX? Well, it's part of the larger question of what can we do when product managers want to bypass UX. Now, this is where your leads and managers and directors are hopefully from UX and are hopefully fighting this, because if not, your lead and leaders are the problem. I said it, they're the problem. But there's another thing, and I put it in my recent article, which we're going to read on the show in about 10 days, and that is, I think that we're going to see an increasing number of UX people going out and getting product manager certifications so that they can apply for product manager jobs just to do UX work. Because the more companies are going to claim that that UX is the realm of the product manager, the more qualified UX people are going to take those jobs. Product managers, you wanted to bring our two jobs together and you wanted to get a piece of UX, you're going to lose your jobs, because who's more qualified to do a job asking for UX skills? You or me? Probably me. So I think that we're going to see a lot of companies trying this AI stuff this year and next year. They're going to think that it replaces people. And I think the best thing that we can do is, number one, keep speaking up and fighting. Number two, keep documenting risk. And number three, make sure there are metrics in place that are checking if this stuff is working. If we start doing a lot of projects with ChatGPT and AI and we don't need UX, someone has to check if these projects are truly going better. They might be faster, but are they better? If they're faster, but we're seeing lower customer satisfaction scores, we're losing more customers are complaining more, it's not a winner. Congratulations on going faster, but we still messed up other stuff. Elena says, LOL, I literally finished my PMP. Elena, which company did you use to get that? Hashtag not sponsored. I'm just curious, because I think we're all going to just go for the cheapest one, knowing that it's going to say design thinking and all these ridiculous things. Valuable information, but also not what I do. Yep. So pass. Gloomy possibilities for software designers. Gloomier than what we already are stuck with. It's already so ugly. It's already such a terrible job at so many companies, and we're already being killed by our own UX leadership. Really? It could get worse? Sure, go ahead. Pluralsight for the training, PMI for the exam. Thanks, I'll check that out. Pluralsight, PMI exam, and certainly hashtag not sponsored. But Elena, are you comfortable saying why you did that? Casey says relationships are greater than algorithms, taken from George Bryant. I always hope so. I always hope so. And critical thinking is still going to be better than algorithms. Until computers can do critical thinking, which I think is not during my lifetime, I think they'll get really good with algorithms, but I'm not sure they're going to be critical thinking and truly artificially intelligent. Then We still need critical thinkers. We still need problem finders and problem solvers. Your problems are not going to be solved by feeding something into AI and having AI remix things that already exist. Just not. That's it. If you remix things that already exist, go ahead, but don't pretend that's innovative. Steph says, I once asked if I should become a business analyst to talk to the users because I was tired of people telling me the BA talk to the user so I can just do the UI. Totally understand why some researchers want to become PMs. Elena says, I wanted to see exactly what PMs learn and how I can better reach them with research insights. It gave me some good info about how these two roles use the same terms in different ways. Cool. Okay, so who's ready for the spicy stuff? So talking about some spicy stuff, some of you have been aware that I have a couple of haters. These are people who, as soon as my book goes on sale, run to Amazon and Goodreads and give them 1 star, even though they haven't read them and probably don't plan to. I have some active, aggressive haters who seem to not be happy unless they are trying to hurt my career. Now, again, everybody needs a hobby. So, if you want me as your hobby, I think that's a poor choice. I think there are much better hobbies than me. I'm kind of boring. But, if I'm your hobby, hopefully you find some pleasure from it, intellectual pleasure, let's just say that. But if this is an unhealthy hobby, if you are unhealthily obsessed with me, I am going to suggest some self-awareness and some detachment. So I do have a hater who I believe is a malignant narcissist. Now, I can't prove that. I can only say this person seems to be a malignant narcissist, so we've just got to look out for some of the things this person is saying and doing. Some will be true, some will not be true, and that's why it's a great topic for critical thinking, because we want to break things into pieces and analyze them and look from different angles and see when are things true and when are they not true. Ana Lucia says, please choose a productive hobby other than bothering someone. Yeah, thank you. Now, it doesn't bother me. Evidently, this person's just been posting on Reddit about me for months, and I don't go to Reddit. So I only bump into this when someone emails me and says, hey, here's a screenshot of something someone's saying about you. And my response is, how sad. Truly, how sad. Let's not give them any attention at all. But today we'll give them some attention. Elena says, also required reading, product management for UX people from Rosenfeld. Okay, so let's take a look at a screenshot I got from Reddit from someone who truly hates me. Here's what it says. Someone asked the person who hates me the following question. Are you saying that Debbie Levitt and Darren Hood lack expertise? And how should expertise be proven? And the person says, yes, I am. So again, how do we determine if someone has expertise? This is a great critical thinking question. Now, could some of this be opinion? Could it be that I think I have expertise and I have expertise in certain areas, but other people don't like the way I do things or don't want to work the way I do or don't want to learn from my styles. And they might think Debbie doesn't have the expertise I want, or Debbie doesn't have the expertise that matches me. So I think that there's kind of a factual expertise, and then I think there's going to be more of a subjective expertise where I might have some expertise, but I don't have what this person's looking for, so they feel that I don't have expertise. So I think these are good questions to ask. And the original poster says, yes, I am. Facts are proven through evidence. So we have to look for something here. And I forgot to program. Oh yeah, here's my old friend triangle. So don't forget the argument pyramid triangle. We're going to be looking for some of this stuff here because it might show up. So, oops. Plus red flag. So facts are proven through evidence. Now, there's a difference between presenting facts, which, yes, are best when proven through evidence, and people presenting their personal experiences, personal opinions. Every other week, we look at these articles, and many of them are personal opinions, personal experiences. That doesn't invalidate them. Me disagreeing with them doesn't invalidate that someone had that experience. I just might not agree with them. And depending upon what they're saying, I may or may not expect facts. Darren Hood says, trolls ask for data that can't be provided. Yes, I'm getting there. Darren's totally right. Ana Lucia says, I love the facts are proven through evidence as a way to prove his point without actually providing proof. Yes, and I'm not sure it's a his. I think it could be a her, but we'll just use a gender neutral them. So yes, if you're going to say something like 10 reasons why gatekeeping isn't real, back it up with something measurable. So notice that the goalposts are moving. It's not just that this person wants facts. Now they want something measurable. We've talked about this on this show before. This is something we often see from someone as an argument tactic. So if I say, gee, I find that if I eat wheat, I just seem to put on weight really fast. Now, that's my experience. It's true for me. It might not be true for you. But someone who wants to fight me on that will say, well, where's your facts? And can you prove that? I often get people saying, where's your hard data? Where's your numbers? And what I've noticed is so far, 100% of the time I'm asked for measurements and hard data and studies. Whatever I provide is never enough. It's never right. The study wasn't big enough. The study wasn't recent enough. The study wasn't in a journal this person respects. No matter what you provide. So this is a game. Look out for people who say, where are your facts and where's your measurable hard data? I think I go into this in my book as well. Just a reminder that one person's hard data is another person's do not care. If you say to me, I have hard data that 90% of people who eat wheat have no reaction to it all and enjoy it and have an excellent time, so wheat is great, and I have hard data supporting this, I have a peer-reviewed academic study, I might still have a problem with wheat. Your fact or measurable thing doesn't undo whatever my experience is. So be careful of the people who argue based on show me something measurable. How do you measure somebody else's expertise? Some of that is just going to be the truth of this person's expertise and work history, and some of it is just going to be your opinion about that and whether that expertise matches your needs. Darren says, based on what's said in this example, I did provide evidence that gatekeeping isn't real, but trolls don't listen, waste of time. Exactly. We know Darren talks about this often, and he provides examples and reasons. So this person's acting like, well, it wasn't measurable. Well, Darren didn't claim to offer you something necessarily measurable, but he gave you reasons why. The thing is called 10 Reasons Why. If he's giving you 10 reasons why, he gave you 10 reasons why. Now, then this person says, if you're rehashing your experience or stating your opinion, don't present it as a fact. So is Darren presenting something as a fact when he says 10 reasons why gatekeeping isn't real? I think it really depends on how that article or post is written. I might look at that and say, well, that's his opinion and experience. And unless he says, these are the facts. We've seen that sometimes on this show where somebody starts their post with, the facts are the facts, or you can't disagree with me about this, or here's the truth, or then it sounds like, okay, you're trying to say these are the facts and nobody can disagree with you. But I generally don't think of Darren as necessarily doing it that way. I think of Darren as usually, if not always, saying, look, these are my experiences. This is what I'm living. So this is my truth. So this is what I'm seeing. And you can say, okay, that's his opinion. I don't agree. Or that's an interesting opinion. I don't go through my job and say I've been a UX designer for X amount of years, so you should just believe me. This argument is all over the place. So this is another thing we've talked about in the past. I've referenced it when we see Jared Spool arguments. This is a person who's starting a lot of little battles on a lot of fronts. And then if you wanted to contradict this person, where do you even start? There's like 10 points here. And that's something I typically see malignant narcissists do, is they light so many fires that you don't know which one to put out. And then what happens is, if you don't put all the fires out, they write back and go, oh, well, I guess I'm right on these other two because you didn't debate them. Then it's like debating the debate. Darren says that's hyperbolized also, which trolls do. I never presented 10 reasons why gatekeeping isn't real. It's a fear-mongering tactic. Yeah, I didn't think I'd seen you post that. I think, in fact, I've seen you and I both posted that gatekeeping is important. And so we should be doing some gatekeeping. Product management does. Engineering does. Marketing does. So it almost sounds like they made up an article you never wrote and then pooped on you for it, and then decided we don't have expertise. Okay, hater. You can, if that made you feel good, then go ahead, take your lotion and tissues and have fun. So here's another post from the same thing. And I assume this is also the original poster, just using another name, but hypothetically it could be another person who's not the original poster. But let's read this out loud, and then let's go through it in slow motion. Debbie Levitt is a joke, but so bad nobody is laughing. What she's doing to bring down the community with her attitude is quite sad. Notice that most of her followers are juniors who don't know any better. Yet, not their fault. Anyone with any experience can very quickly see the flaws in her logic. She can't take criticism. She thinks she's better than everyone, has no self-awareness, and lacks empathy and critical thinking skills. She is downright insufferable. Her books, like her posts and comments, are too long vanity pieces. The valuable bits, and there definitely are some, are buried in word salad that needs a good editor. To her credit, the guests on her channel are often very good, and she does give away a lot of content for free, which evidently you don't want, because my content is terrible and insufferable, and there's barely a needle in that haystack. Ana Lucia says, I'm just not wasting my time with someone that doesn't want to actually debate things and just wants to be right, even at the expense of others. Darren Hood says, yep, I said long live the gatekeeper. Trolls claim you said something you didn't say and then set up to prove that their imaginary statement isn't true and attribute it to whoever they're attacking. I think that is the straw man. So let's break this one into pieces. Let's go in slow motion and practice our critical thinking. Debbie Levitt is a joke. Well, that's a good question. Is Debbie Levitt a joke? Technically, I am a human. I am technically not a joke. I'm technically a human, but I guess you could think I'm a joke. That's certainly, you are welcome to that opinion. I support you. But I'm a joke that's so bad that nobody is laughing. Again, I still don't know what this means. What does it mean for a human to be a joke, but a bad joke at which no one is laughing? I'm not sure what we're going for here. But again, you are absolutely welcome to think this about me. I encourage you. I would just say, if I am this bad, based on what I've just read out loud, why are you spending any time on me at all? Malika says, is the original poster okay? I don't think so. But again, that's just my opinion. I don't have that as a fact. I cannot provide you any facts or measurable evidence that the original poster is okay or not okay. Ana Lucia says, I can laugh with you. Does that make you a joke? I don't know. Manuel says, I can't believe someone would say this. It's just pure hatred. It is, but let's enjoy it and let's roll in it and wade in it and let's break it down. So next sentence, what Debbie is doing to bring down the community with her attitude is quite sad. So this again, normally when people actually say these things to me, I always say, can you please give me an example? Because it's really easy to make a broad generalization about someone. Let's just pretend it's Darren, because Darren knows I like him. Darren is bringing down the community with his attitude. Okay, well, I should probably give you an example of that. I should probably tell you why I think that. This would be a great time to share your facts and your whatever measurable measures. Where's your facts? Where's your measurable measures? Or is this just your opinion? And if it's your opinion, that's totally fine. You're welcome to it. People around the world have all kinds of opinions. You're allowed to have yours. But what is that? How do I bring down the community? We don't know. What is my attitude? We don't know. We only know this person feels sad about whatever I'm doing. What is their insight into what I'm doing? I don't know. If it's the person I think they are, I drop kick them out of my Slack community. So which community am I bringing down? My own Slack community? The entire world of UX? Thank you, but I don't think I have that power. And I'm trying to raise up the entire community of UX. So if I'm bringing it down, I'm failing. Steph says, wait, Debbie only has junior followers and is able to bring good guests? How does she do that? Darren says, Debbie isn't bringing down the community. She's strengthened and built it. Funny thing, the character assassins are usually about themselves. Yes. Shweta says, anonymity and the lack of accountability give people a lot of power. Most people wouldn't talk like this in real life. I absolutely agree. And I'd also like to say, if you agree with this a little or a lot, and you see me in person, come tell me. Absolutely come tell me. I promise I won't hit you. I'm absolutely fine with this. I support your right to have your own opinion. I would love for you to walk up to me at the UX Copenhagen conference or some other event when I'm speaking, because I'm going to be traveling again. I would love for you to walk up to me in Epcot if you run into me in Walt Disney World, and I want you to say, you're a terrible person with a terrible attitude and you're hurting the community. And that way I can say, great, tell me more. Give me an example of that. Maybe there's something I've done wrong that I can improve. Tell me more. Come say this to me. Let's talk about it. Otherwise, this isn't actionable. This isn't actionable. I can't read this and go, oh yeah, you know what? I am getting that wrong. I did that wrong. I did a bad job on that. This person's right. I can do better. I don't even know what they're talking about. It's so incredibly broad, it's hard to agree with and it's hard to disagree with. And that's a common argument technique. Notice that most of her followers are juniors who don't know any better. The hilarious thing is, look at who's in the chat room today. I think the average amount of experience in the chat room today has to be 8 years. I mean, oh my God, Shweta's got 10 at least. Shweta's HFI. Darren's got 20-something years. Steph has been around. Malika knows her stuff. Ana Lucia is doing this. Even Manuel already has a couple of years of experience. Elena has a PhD. So I have found that my community is roughly 50% juniors and roughly 50% more experienced people. So I wouldn't say it is factual, because we can measure this. I wouldn't say it's factual that most of my followers are juniors. I tend to, when I think about someone whose followers are mostly juniors, I tend to think of Joe Natoli and Sarah Duty. I think they do, I think they're going more for the junior following. I'm absolutely thrilled to have juniors involved in my community, but it's not necessarily the audience that I'm totally focusing on. Oh, hi, Deja. I can't wait to meet you next week. Yeah, Melanie says, I'm 25 years. Deja says, how can they not see your logic? Everyone I know is eating this up. Yeah, what can I say? I think I'm good with logic, but, you know, it's I'm not even at that sentence yet. Darren says, what's worse about these types of activities is someone, obviously there's activity happening in Slack. Someone believes the report, someone in your workplace acts on it. Yes. Ana Lucia says, I may be newer to UX, but I have work experience, QA, functional analysis, help desk therapy, entrepreneurship, and business. Yeah. So let's go to the next sentence, because so far this is certainly someone's opinion, and it can be someone's opinion, but you know, it's definitely not something that I agree with. I'm not seeing the truth here. That's where it would be great if people could give me examples. Like, we know she's bringing down the community because of this, or I know her followers are all juniors because of this. So anyone with any experience can quickly see the flaws in her logic. Well, I'm here every other week hoping y'all will tell me the flaws in my logic. So please do. I do think of myself as very logical. I definitely tend toward logic and thinking and measuring and planning over emotions. So, you know, but I always have room for improvement. So if there are flaws in my logic, I always hope people will tell me. Let's see. AJ, Deja's the world's greatest BA. Yay. Elliot says, this hurts my head to read. Ilaria, hi Ilaria, says, I actually started loving Debbie after gaining more experience on the field. Then everything she said started making sense. I really couldn't understand it to its full extent before. Yeah, I sometimes feel like our community is a little bit stronger or makes more sense if you're mid-level or higher. I find the really new people and the juniors get some of the things we're talking about, but they don't totally have the frame of reference because they haven't done the work yet, but we're still there for them. They're welcome here. Debbie can't take criticism. Does anybody else want to comment on that? For this to be true, this sounds like a universal. Debbie can't ever take criticism. And it also means, what is your definition of taking criticism? One of the haters who I think wrote this has often told me, you can't take criticism. And I'm always wondering, what does that mean? I'm taking criticism right now, right? I mean, gosh, this is extremely critical. What does taking it look like? What would I have to do for you to believe that I can take criticism? Is it important to take criticism? What should that look like? Do I need to take it graciously? Can I take it angrily? So I always wonder when people say things like that, you just can't take criticism. There's some missing pieces there. I don't have a sense of how you expect me to take it, so I don't know what I'm not living up to. John says, just joined in. Wow, haters gonna hate. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a few very aggressive haters. This was posted to Reddit because, if you can be anonymous, why not crap all over me? It's, probably fun for somebody. I guess it's a better hobby than cocaine, but it still seems negative. Next, she thinks she's better than everyone. I would disagree with that. And better in what way? Better as a human, better as a UX practitioner, better as a YouTuber, better as a public speaker. There are things that I think I'm very good at, and I believe it's okay and healthy to have self-confidence. Why should I be not confident? Then there are things I'm terrible at. Oh, wow. I am the worst at social studies. I am the worst at history. I am really terrible with politics. I'm bad with world economics. So holy cats, there's a lot of people who are better than me at that. Singing, I think I'm pretty good at that. There are definitely people who are better than me, like Mike Mills, who sings our theme song, Marcella Bovio, who I super idolize. UX, there are definitely people who are better at UX than I am. I think I'm pretty good. I've got a couple of skills. I've refined them over time. But there's definitely people better at these things than I am, and we know who these people are. You can take tough love if you are low ego. Yeah. Shannon says, user is gone now. This was a Reddit post I screenshot so we could talk about it. Steph says, I think Debbie's rough love, no cuddling might not please everybody, especially juniors. But again, we don't need fake cheerleading. We need critical thinking, even if things suck sometimes. Absolutely. My style is not for everybody. And if you don't like my style, you don't have to follow me. You don't have to post to Reddit how much you hate me, but you don't have to follow me. Steph says, Debbie, you are a woman on the internet. You're not allowed to say you're good at things or celebrate your accomplishment. It bruises the tech bro's ego. Thank you. Debbie has no self-awareness. Now, the great thing about that is it fails a lot of logic tests. Really, you can easily poke holes in people's arguments when they use universals. Universals are always, never, none, all. These are always easy to prove false. I would have to have a little self-awareness for this to be false. So chances are most of us would agree that I have at least a little self-awareness about some things, therefore rendering this factually incorrect. I've got at least some self-awareness on some things, so that undoes this. Debbie lacks empathy and critical thinking skills. I think that's pretty funny for someone with a show about critical thinking. Could I be better at critical thinking? Maybe, sure. I haven't, there's always a room for growth and room for improvement. But that's funny. Another universal everyone. Yep. Debbie is downright insufferable. Absolutely. That's absolutely an opinion you could hold of me. We don't have to check if that's factually true or measurable. You are absolutely welcome to believe that I'm insufferable. This broadcast might make me look more insufferable. Totally valid. You are welcome to think that. I'm not even going to fight you on it. That's fine. Her books, like her posts and comments, are too long vanity pieces. So, are my books and posts and comments long? Yes, this is absolutely true. Are they too long? That's going to be in the eye of the beholder. Some people prefer that I go into more detail. Some prefer shorter writing. So too long is going to be in the eye of the beholder. But do I tend to write things in a very long style? Do I speak in a long style? Do I write in a long style? Absolutely, this is true. Now, are they vanity pieces? That really depends. I try not to write vanity pieces. I try to write meaningful, actionable, helpful things. So to me, a vanity piece is something where at the end of the article or book or whatever, it's just been fluff, 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 look how great I am. And you don't have anything meaningful, actionable, or helpful that you can act on. However, based on the feedback I get from my shows and my books and my articles, people are finding things that are helping their lives or their jobs. So I don't think of my writing as vanity, and I try to go into it without that vanity. And there are things I sometimes post and I say, is this vanity? And then I say, well, I don't want it to be vanity. Today I posted a quote from someone who sent me a beautiful quote saying how much their book and my things have meant to them and their thing. Is that vanity? Sure, that could be a vanity moment. I feel pride about that. But I feel pride about that because I worked hard on something that helped someone. So that's going to be partially pride and vanity, and it's going to be partially the personal reward for having helped someone in a way that I meant to help them. So I think that there are times where people are exhibiting vanity or pride, but if someone is still getting something out of that, I don't want to poop on them for feeling pride in something they did. Ana Lucia says, maybe this is someone that got a portfolio review and didn't like my opinion. Yeah, it's always possible. What else? The valuable bits are buried in a word salad that needs a good editor. I think 30 people edited my last book. We did our best to really cut it down where possible. And actually, the comments I tend to get from people are that my books and presentations and stuff are information overload. They're so packed. Every slide is packed with actionable, thought-provoking information. Usually they tell people when you do a presentation, have 2 or 3 key points over the course of your 15 or 30 minutes. Make those 2 or 3 points. I try to have 2 or 3 points per slide. I'm definitely information fire hose. So the idea that I barely have a few good bits buried in a word salad either means I have no self-awareness about my writing, or this person is just not finding the good bits. Darren says the accuser is a bully. Darren says it's not vanity at all. Vanity means nothingness or something of no value. The accusation is a farce. Steph says, I was half joking about woman not being able to celebrate accomplishments. I can't help but wonder if Debbie was a man, would the person write the same stuff? I think in this case it would. I think the person who's writing this is female, and so I think this is just someone who just hates me because of jealousy and malignant narcissism, but that's a guess. I can't prove that. No facts, nothing measurable. And finally, they seem to like my guest, but I love the ending bit. I love it. I give away a lot of content for free. Well, according to this person, you don't want that content. I'm toxic. I'm a joke. I have a terrible attitude. I'm bringing down the community. I have flawed logic. I can't think critically. I can't take criticism. I have no empathy. I'm insufferable. But I do give away a lot of content for free. That's like, this food has poison in it, but you can get it cheap. It doesn't even make sense. Elliot says, this person's post history has contributed nothing else to the UX subreddit other than attacking Debbie. Kind of tells you all you need to know. Yeah, I think this person was making a few fake accounts to try to make it look like there were multiple people who were against me and not just them. Darren says, many of them come at Debbie because she's a woman. Many of them come at me because I'm BIPOC. Those folks rarely come at white men. Steph says, at some point, if all the posts are like that, why do the moderators let that person in the community? Yeah, I don't know. I asked that as well. I really didn't know why. I mean, a question is, people ask, for example, is this libelous? Is this slanderous? Hypothetically, libel and slander are spoken or written things that are untrue, that are designed to hurt someone's reputation or business. Now, to me, I think this could match that. I'm not a lawyer, but I do believe that this matches libel or slander. Now, again, one of those is written and one of those is spoken, and I always forget which is which. I think libel is spoken and slander is written. Libel versus slander. Defamatory statements. Libel is written. Okay, got it. Libel is an untrue defamatory statement made in writing. Right. So this would hypothetically be libelous in that these are untrue statements that are designed to hurt my reputation and my business. Now, some people say, well, aren't you libeling and slandering Jared Spool when you say that you don't like his stuff and blah, blah, blah? There's a difference between opinion and libel. I am absolutely welcome to go anywhere and say, I don't like Jared Spool. I don't like the things he's saying. I think the things he's saying are hurting what we're doing, and here's why. That's my opinion. I can't say untrue things about him. I can't say Jared Spool eats babies and that's why we shouldn't hire him. So there are definitely things here that are opinion. They're not libelous. It's not a matter of are they true or untrue. It's this person's opinion and they're welcome to that opinion. But are there things here that are untrue, that are designed to get people to see me in a certain way and therefore hurt my business? Now, the original Reddit post that this came from, which I also have a screenshot from, but I'm not going to share, especially since we're running over time, said a whole bunch of wacky and untrue things about me, about how like my life was falling apart and my life was in a terrible state and my career was an irredeemable mess kind of thing. And it was like, wow, none of those things were true. The person who posted it was making up a story about me to try to make it look like they were helping me and they were saving me because I'm in such a bad way. And which I found very strange. It was very strange to see such a false narrative made up about me to set up a false story. Let's see, we got lots of comments here. Let's see. Taryn says, I was going to be a lawyer. It's libel. Credence says, UX design Reddit mods aren't helpful. No, they let this stay up and they even contributed to the conversation, which I found very weird. John says, it's all projection and quite ironic, lacks empathy in a post that's non-constructive empathy, free rant. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to be said about that psychological thing where it's like, I know you are, but what am I? This person is probably talking about themselves. While some of these things are true about me, this person is probably talking about themselves. If this person is who I think it is, their articles are certainly too long vanity pieces. This person is somebody nobody is laughing at or with. This person has been accused of bringing down the community and having a poor attitude. This person has been said to have followers who are mostly junior, but juniors who don't like them. Anyone with any experience has seen the flaws in this person's logic. This person can't take criticism because when they get criticism, this is what they do. You can't say, hey, I take criticism well, but I'm going to go to Reddit and poop on somebody. So yes, absolutely. Based on who I think this is, and I can't prove it, this person is describing themselves other than the valuable bits and the guests on their channel. Darren says, yes, it's projection many times. So Darren says Reddit changed their policy to remove libelous behavior from the list of policy violations. There you go. I guess libel is okay. So again, this person's not done with me. And when you see this person out on the interwebs, whether they're posting to LinkedIn where I've blocked them or posting to Reddit where I'm not going to bother going, don't even reply. I appreciate the people who came out to this Reddit to defend me. That absolutely meant a lot to me. Seriously, in a very personal way, that meant a lot to me. But I would rather see you spend your time just about any other way. Make yourself a cup of tea, cook up some soup. Anything you do is a better spending of your time than giving a malignant narcissist the attention they want. That's it. They don't deserve the attention. That's it. So am I giving them attention today? Absolutely. Are they enjoying this? I don't know. They tend to enjoy when people agree with them and press like and raise them up. I'm not going to do that, and you're not doing that. And they're not showing up in the chat room. So they need a new hobby. Ultimately, this is unhealthy. Shannon says, I think Debbie has been the best at taking and reacting to criticism. I don't know. I will happily take criticism. If people have criticism of me, please send it in. You can make it public like this if you'd like, but remember, I might not see it. I'm not going to Reddit. You can send it to me privately. You can post it to the Slack channel. But again, there is a huge difference between me saying, I'm against when Jared Spool says everyone's a designer because everyone's a designer is hurting our UX work. And here's how I know it's hurting the UX work. That could stand up in court. That's my opinion. That's true. I could prove that if I had to. So it's not libel. It's not slander. Slander is untrue things designed to hurt someone's reputation or business. I don't want to do that to anybody else, and I don't want them to do it to me, but I'm not afraid to say I hate the Lean UX book, and I don't think we should use it for anything, even to rest a coffee cup on. I'm allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that about my book. Debbie's book is terrible, and it should be thrown on the fire. You can say that. That's not libel or slander. The best way to change attitudes is to change behaviors. Yeah. So to me, the best way to deal with these people is to walk away. Just walk away. They want the attention. They'll get attention from a few of their followers, from a few people who don't want to think critically and just say, ooh, this looks good, press like. They'll get some attention from other people who hate me. That's great. Congratulations. You have your secret club. LinkedIn user says, wow, looking at this post now, this is absolutely nuts. Sorry you went through this, Debbie. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, sorry about that. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, give feedback, slander, no. Yeah, I agree. So let's flip on back to a giant picture of me coughing. Groovy. There I am. Hey everybody, did you know that Larry Marine and I have put our live workshop on sale? We did. You can sign up for it. We will be live in Denver doing 2 days of stuff. Larry's doing day 1 with his knowledge-oriented UX, which is your task analysis, optimized task flow, and knowledge design. I'm doing day 2 with my renamed strategizing products and customer experiences, SPACE for short, formerly known as transforming toward customer centricity. You can find all of that at cxcc.to/space, SPACE, lowercase. Oh, Darren says, you missed my note earlier about being stalked and I refuse to be silent. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't keep up with all the comments today. There were just so many. So yes, don't be silent, and we need to talk about these things. So let's talk about what's coming up on the show next. Next week is a short week because I'm doing my strategizing products and customer experiences, on Thursday and Friday. It's 2 half-days workshop as well. So check it out on the space page. You can sign up for next week or the Denver one. Denver is hybrid. You can be in person with us in Denver, or you can be remote. Monday will be Think Out Loud, though I don't have a plan for it yet. So please send something in, deltacx.com/links. Send something in for Think Out Loud. Tuesday, office hours, ask me anything. Oh, I have to check if Tom is still available. It says that he's going to be our guest, but I don't know. Let's send him a LinkedIn message and make sure he's still available. What else is coming up? Wednesday, of course, is book club. I think we're in chapters like 13 and 14. And then Thursday and Friday, we're taken off because I will be doing the strategizing products and customer experiences. So any last thoughts or questions, get them in the chat room. I'll put them up on the screen. Yes, a lot of stuff. Let me reboot my little chat page and make sure it's coming up. There we go. Ready for chat. So yeah, thanks to everybody for coming and hanging out and playing along and giving me some of your thoughts and opinions on some of the articles that we looked at. Thanks for sending them in, as well as some of the wacky stuff that comes from haters. And, hey, you're out there, you're going to have haters. Everybody's got haters. Some of them are more active and aggressive. Some of them are quiet. But I knew I had haters when, like, the week my book came out, even when many people didn't even have it yet, I was getting 1 and 2 star reviews that had there were 1 and 2 star ratings that had no reviews. So it's like, oh, I don't even know why Amazon allows that. The book came out 3 seconds ago. There's no way you probably read any of it. So that's okay. If that is how you want to spend your time, and if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a deeply good person, I am abiding by what my God and religion tell me to be like, and I'm going to go leave Debbie 1-star reviews because Debbie is yucky, then you go ahead and tell yourself that. You go right ahead. I won't interrupt you. I'm just going to be over here living my life. Credence says, just want to say I'm grateful for your book and content. I'm always sharing it with my fellow students. Between you and Darren, it's helped fight some of that misinformation we have in our classes. Ooh, yikes. Bad information in classes. Well, I hope you'll leave a nice Amazon review because I've got to undo some of these 1 and 2 stars. So if people like my book, won't you please leave a good review for it on Amazon and Goodreads. All right. Thanks for running late, everybody. But hey, it's a Friday. I hope we've had some fun and some laughs. I hope we've had jokes that we could laugh at. And I'm going to go check all of the messages that have been coming in and see who might need my help. And thanks to Darren for coming. We don't always see Darren around here anymore. Hope we'll see more of him. Okay, I'm going to get ready to play us out of here. And everybody have a super weekend. Be safe, be healthy. If you're not, hopefully you're improving. And I guess I will catch everybody soon. Thanks. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are